Cancers, dreams and illusions are on the menu for November. Let's have an aligned astro chat about it. Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot for November, Cancers. And OMG, is it going to be a very, very interesting month for you guys. Definitely, as I was tapping in, felt a lot of that, kind of the elusive, the dreamy, the foggy, and trying to figure out what is real versus what is in that, sort of foggy dream state. So can't wait to tap in and see what's going on with you guys. So I was called to pull cards for you guys today from the Enchanted Dreams Oracle from from Yasmin Westwood. Sorry, I don't have a box for it. And we are pulling an overarching theme from the Divine Feather Messengers Oracle from Alison DeNicola and David Shearer. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so with that dreams and illusions, let's see what is coming up as the theme. Always kind of interesting to see how that shows up. Ooh, Pelican. Choose to follow the path of forgiveness and raise your vibration. So yeah, I feel like with this dream and illusion thing, I feel like there's going to be this month a bit of a revealing of maybe someone who's not been so truthful with you, some information that will be coming out. And I feel like this affects you on a personal level. This isn't necessarily, truth revealed in the collective as much as this is truth that is connected to you. And I feel like this message is coming through specifically for that. Choose to follow the path of forgiveness and raise your vibration. Because as we all know, but it's a lot harder to put into practice, is that we forgive another person for ourselves. We don't actually forgive them for them. We forgive them for ourselves, because otherwise we sit in all of that. I want to say, like, we re-injure ourselves or re-abuse ourselves kind of thing when we are holding on to all of that anger and that angst and, the pain of it all. So definitely feeling that Pelican is coming through with a very specific message for you. And I know this was kind of thematic. We'll see how it plays out with the rest of the cards, but definitely feeling like, the curtain's been lifted and you will have seen clearly what's sort of going on. And I feel that Pelican and that forgiveness is going to inform your choices moving forward. Okay, so where are you at in the present right now in your transformational journey? Ooh, that's the one. What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Ooh, I love it. You got the Magician. Yeah, you have definitely been in a mode very recently where you're recognizing that you've got more to play with than you originally thought, that there's more that is accessible to you or more that is coming through you than you originally thought. This kind of feels like one of those moments where, we all start out as a novice with different things, and we get stuck in that novice mode energy where you're on the journey and you don't know how long it's going to take before you kind of move up a level. And, you might do that for a long time. And then all of a sudden it hits you, you go to a class and you realize, okay, I could have taught that class. What has changed? Well, what has changed is now you've up leveled. You no longer are the novice at this. You now have, a substantial amount of knowledge about something. And now the opportunity is for you to apply that and to learn what it's like to be that thing in that level of energy and awareness. So I feel like that's exactly where you're at right now, is you're recognizing, maybe I've been giving away my power a little bit, or maybe I have crossed a particular threshold that I thought I wasn't going to cross for, another 2 years, or, that I thought it was going to take me a lot longer to get here, but I'm here now. I also feel like when we're talking about what part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving, I feel like this is a shifting and a rising that is happening. You're shifting into this awareness I see Cancers that you guys are actually like really taking this to heart, and you're taking advantage of it. So I feel a bit of like quick movement, speed, that once you have the realization, you have the aha, you're like, oh, well, shit, feet don't fail me now. Like, I'm going to move forward with this. There's nothing going to stop me. I see a couple of you, I feel like this is, maybe more figurative, but a couple of you literal, where you just wake up one morning and you decide, I'm booking those tickets. I'm going on that trip. I'm going to do that thing. And it might have taken you months or even years of thinking about it, but like this month, you wake up and like, this is it. Like, you're doing it. Now's the time, seize the day. And I feel like a lot of that is because of that magician energy that you're in. You're recognizing, I actually have the skills that I need to at the very least move forward, into the next level or into the next path or into the next challenge. I also feel like when we're talking about the rising energy, from a career perspective, a lot of you are going to be looking at where you want to go next. For some of you, I do feel that there are going to be opportunities to rise in November. But for most of you, what I'm kind of feeling here is because you have this clarity, now you're able to look at things a bit differently, and you kind of open up possibilities for yourself that prior to this clarity, you didn't think were available. So this might be, you're on a job hunt and now you're casting a wider net. And you're recognizing, okay, yeah, I think I can apply for that job that is, one level higher than, what I've done before. And I can justify it because I have, 10 years of experience doing this. So I definitely feel that there is sort of like a career rising that is going to be transpiring. And for a couple of you, I feel like you're rising out of a volunteer opportunity that you've been doing for some time, and you're moving on, like you're releasing it to someone else who can do it, and you're moving on either to something else, or you're moving on because you are ready for a bit of a break or a bit of a change. So shifting up where your priorities are, shifting up where you are investing your time and your energy into. Interesting. The catalyst, what's fueling or hindering your transformation? And is this resistance or is it rocket fuel? Interesting. Six of Pentacles. So I was just talking about the investment. Six of Pentacles is a card of investment or reinvestment in self. It's also a card of generosity. It's a give and take. There's a lot of reciprocity that comes from this. And I feel that that absolutely is the catalyst. Whatever this clarity is that you are going to be receiving, you also recognize now, I either no longer need to put time and energy into this thing anymore because I've outgrown it or I've grown past it. Or I'm recognizing where people have been keeping me stuck in place because it's been serving them, but it's not serving me. And there's a rebalancing that needs to occur. And so I am choosing to take now instead of give. It is my time to receive now instead of being the one to give in offering. I also feel with the six is always about harmony, balance, and alignment. And I do feel that word harmony is standing out to me in a pretty big way. It's standing out to me because I feel like harmony is what you have been seeking, especially the last 4 months. You've been seeking like you're trying to match the harmony of the tune of your soul. And you're trying to match it in your connections with other people. You're trying to match it in your location, your home space, your place of work. And I feel like this month, you find the right frequency, you find the right harmony, and it's not going to be what you expect. It's not where you've been looking. It's going to present itself in a different way. And when it does, I keep seeing like domino effect, all things start to fall into place. Everything just makes sense. So that's really exciting. That's a really positive catalyst for you. I want to say Six of Pentacles is the rocket fuel that's getting you to where it is that you want to go. Hands down, 100%. All right, your deep root. What deep belief wound or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface. It's almost like you've been trying to emulate or become someone that you aren't, or someone that you, I don't want to say can't be, but I want to say like why would you want to be anyone other than yourself? So like Cancers, you guys are water signs. So Queen of Cups, cups is your element, right? Cups is your suit. Pentacles is earth signs. And yes, we can learn from and take, like we can borrow characteristics from our earth sign friends, right? We can learn from the Queen of Pentacles in order to apply that, to our life and our journey. But why would you ever want to be the Queen of Pentacles? Like, I feel like there's a component here of you maybe playing the comparison game, or somehow feeling that what you have to offer is less than or not good enough. And I feel like this Queen of Pentacles is coming up to kind of encourage you by showing where things aren't always so great and things aren't always what they seem, being the Queen of Pentacles. For some of you, I feel like this is a direct relationship that you have, maybe with someone who, is an earth sign energy. So Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Or I would say this could be someone who, appears to have it all together, always has everything in abundance, has plenty of money, has plenty of friends, has plenty of food, has plenty of social time, has plenty of. I feel like you're going to be shown in November, if this is a person or whether this is a situation or a circumstance, you're going to be shown very clearly where the cracks are in their path, or learning things about someone's journey that you didn't know before, that makes you go, wow, I didn't realize that person went through that thing. The analogy that I'm going to give you, and I don't mean to go dark here, and I'm not trying to say that this is going to happen to you, it's just the analogy that's coming through, is I can't tell you how many times in my practice and in what I do and serving others, I've met, hundreds of thousands, I think at this point, of people. Well, maybe not hundreds of thousands, but tens of thousands. That's what I meant to say. Tens of thousands of people, for sure. And it always blows my mind when I connect with someone and I find out that they've lost a child. And, you meet them and you see how they are and you connect and all the things. And then that's something that comes out after the first impressions, after the, and it might even be that I've worked with that person for, several times before that information comes out. But when it comes out, it's always like, wow, how does a person come back from that? So again, not to go dark on you guys, but I'm really feeling like this is kind of what's going to be. Like, you're seeing something and you're judging yourself or evaluating your wants and needs and desires based on this other person. But there's going to be something that comes out that shows you, oh, it wasn't easy for them either. There was a path that they had to take that I'm really kind of, quite frankly, glad I didn't have to take that. I'm really, quite frankly, glad that I didn't have to go through that in order to have that thing. Another quick analogy around that is, when you find out people are wealthy and you get all like, oh, I wish I had that. And then you find out later they're wealthy because, they lost their parents, or, that there was a tragic accident or something like that. Nobody, I don't know anybody. I'm sure there are people out in the world, but I don't know anybody who, after you find that information out, would change anything. Like, I don't think you would trade that experience for, independent wealth, right? So yeah, definitely feeling that there's some stuff coming up there. And this is really, I want to say, going to give you a lot of courage and a lot of motivation to kind of move out of where you're at and to almost like start fresh, or to feel more confident in the sort of the direction that you're getting ready to take. This is what's dying away. What part of you is falling away? What role pattern or identity has run its course? Interesting. So 10 of Swords. Yeah. So this is the minor arcana death card, which means there's a rebirth that is about to happen. Something is dead, done, gone, and over with, and never to return. I'm feeling that for the majority of you Cancers, that this is the version of you that has made it through this 2025 year, the shit show of a year that it has been. For some of you, I feel like on a more personal level, this is you really making the conscious choice to recognize where you've stayed in something far too long, a job, a relationship, a romantic partnership, a toxic relationship or family dynamic that you've been in. Again, a volunteer situation where you're like, okay, I've been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt, and it's time for me to move on. And I feel like this is something that you've kind of known was coming. You've been almost like craving it. In some cases, some of you have even brought this on. Sadly, I feel like some of you have brought it on in a more self-sabotaging way because you didn't know any other way to be able to just say, no, I don't want to do it. But the result is the same. You're done. You're out of it now. And now it's time to look ahead, to look forward. I'm really drawn to all the dragonflies in this imagery. The dragonflies represent flexibility and adaptability. They can live on land. They're birthed from water, so they can live in water. There's just a lot of adaptability. There's a lot of flexibility, and I feel like this is what you're leaning into. This is what you are kind of growing into. And whatever it is that you are releasing, I feel like you're going to lick your wounds, you're going to say goodbye, and you're going to do one of these things. And we're done. Not thinking about it anymore. And where am I going forward? And there is going to be a lot of opportunity for adaptability. It's all going to be there for you. You're not even going to have to look for it or seek it out. It's just going to present itself to you. There are a few of you that I feel like this is connected to a career path. And I want to say, if you are unfortunately, if you get like the news that you've lost your job, I want to say, don't fret, don't fear it, because I feel like it's one of those things where the company is saying you're losing your job in this department, but we've got another job for you in another department. So I almost feel like you're not losing anything. You're just being moved around. But there is going to be, some disruption in regards to that. And PS and FYI, I don't feel like all of you, that's going to be the norm. I feel like that's for maybe one or two of you where there's something a bit unexpected that pops up, but there's something that follows literally right on the heels of it. So you're not having to wait long. Okay. Highest Phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy. Oh my God. So 10 of Swords and Death. So big changes that are happening for you guys. And I want to say it's necessary. It's almost like something that you've been craving. You've been asking for it. You are creating it. You're saying this has to go in order for me to be able to co-create the generosity, the reciprocity, to co-create the abundance that I am truly craving, that I am absolutely ready for. I'm also feeling here that there's a component. It's interesting. There's a Scorpio here, so death is connected to Scorpio. I do feel like the scorpion sting for you, but what I keep seeing is it's like, okay, so don't shoot the messenger. This is just what's coming through. It's kind of like you asked for it. So it's like your guides are saying, you may not realize it, but you asked for this, and it's a blessing in disguise. You asked to be stung, because if you hadn't been stung, you would have remained, kind of swimming in this tiny pool. You would have remained stuck or felt the need to stay here because otherwise you didn't know where to go. But because all of this is happening, you now have resources to help you to be flexible and adaptable to the situation that is coming up. And in that regard, death brings about more stability. Death brings about passion. That scorpionic sting goes through you and basically recreates you, reinvents you. And I almost feel like this scorpions and vampires have nothing to do with one another, but I feel like this scorpion, for our purposes today, is a vampire. And so, it takes your life, but it leaves behind the immortality. So it's a different kind of life. And no, you're not becoming a vampire. You're not going to have all that, crazy stuff where you can't be out in the sun and all that jazz. But I use that analogy because I feel like, these things back to back are happening because there's this new you that is so ready to follow a path, to move forward, to get things done, to become what you're ready to become. And this is just like, I want to say that the scorpion is the gentle nudge or the not so gentle nudge in certain cases. The red is really important because I feel like it's an ignition of new passion. For some of you, I feel like this is symbolic of a new relationship that is coming into the mix that's actually going to be deeply connective, very soul, like a soul bond energy, soul connection. And I feel like for a lot of you, you're going to be meeting that person or have very recently met that person. We can be talking about romantic partnership, absolutely. And I'm feeling a little more leaned into that. But for some of you, it's not romantic in nature at all. It's a connection with another being that is going to inspire a lot of that stuff. So that can only happen through the scorpion sting. Interesting. What's emerging just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support your next phase? Beautiful. We have the Fool. I love this. So it is that new beginning. It is that fresh start. Yes, there's a blind leap of faith, but what I keep feeling here is for a lot of you guys, you've been thinking about this for a long time. Like this isn't like it's just surprise coming out of the woodworks. This is something that you've wanted to do for a while. You just haven't known how to get started, how to get it done, or how to break out of. Again, you've been trying to become something other than who you are. And I feel like the Fool is coming in now where you've got more clarity. I'm no longer trying to be anything that I'm not. I'm going to just embrace who I am. And even if I don't know the who I am, how do I want to say this? Even if the who I am doesn't know where she's going or he's going yet, I'm still going to be me because it's the me that is supposed to have the journey. It's the me that's flexible and adaptable. It's the me that is bringing passion into my life. It's the me that is allowing passion into my life. I feel very strongly here when we're talking about what's emerging. For some of you, I want to say maybe a third of you, this is going to show up almost like in spite of you. It's like I see someone like coming over to your house and like dragging you out of the house and saying, listen, you got to get out. Like you got to get out. And they're dragging you kicking and screaming. And you're like, no, like I don't want to go. Like I'm perfectly fine in my little hidey hole here. And someone drags you out. And when they drag you out, you're a little sullen and pouty at first. But then I feel like you smell the air and the sun is on your face and you start to see that the world is still existing and, people are out doing things and having fun and creating. And it kind of like reaffirms your place in the world. It reaffirms your belief in that there is good out in the world. Yes, there really is a Santa Claus, Virginia, like that kind of thing, that kind of energy. That's only for a third of you. The other 2/3 of you, like I said, I feel like you're like, oh, thank God there's something different. Like, oh, thank God, I've been waiting for this. I just didn't know how it was going to show up, but here it is. And I'm all in. I'm jumping all in. So that's really exciting. I feel like that's something that you can anticipate. That's something you can definitely look forward to because it's looking forward to the experience with you. You in this process. How are you navigating this transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? Interesting. Page of Swords. This has been, I think this has shown up, this card has shown up in every single reading I've done so far. So I feel that there's a collective energy here with that Page of Swords, new thought, making a plan to explore that new thought. But for you guys in particular, I'm also seeing for you that you are calling on your, I want to say, your divine helpers. I see some of you really diving into some books on, feels like special interest books, the kinds of books where you connect with a like a biography of someone or an autobiography of someone who's taken a similar journey to the one you're thinking about, and you get lost in their journey and it inspires you in so many different ways. So I feel a lot like reading, maybe watching movies. You're definitely being inspired by other people's stories, but it's inspiration, not that you're trying to become it. It's inspiration for how you want to walk your path or how you don't want to walk your path, right? I also feel when we're talking about you in this process, there's kind of this so again, don't shoot the messenger, okay? This is just how it's coming through. You're kind of shedding a little bit of this so I don't want to say that you guys are all egotistical, because you're not. You just aren't. We all have ego. We all are dealing with ego. This is the way you're dealing with ego in November, okay? There's a part of you where like your ego has to let go of this idea that you know better than anybody else what they need to do with their path or their journey. And I feel like what you want to do is you want to kind of turn that onto the, okay, I'm allowing myself to be the student. I don't know what my journey is going to be like, but that's the fun part. I'm doing the research. I'm having the adventure to explore what the possibilities are, because I'm putting together the plan. I'm curating my journey, but I have to get out of ego space in order to be able to make room for that to come through. And so I don't want to say, I don't want to imply that like you're being egotistical with people around you. I feel more like that ego energy keeps a distance between you and other people, but really what it's doing is it's mirroring the distance that you're keeping between you and maybe your high self or what your heart really wants. And this is the time now where you're basically letting all of that go and you're saying, okay, I'm going to do the deep dive and explore, and I get to curate the experience that I'm choosing to have. That feels really important. I really like that for you guys. So I hope you're not mad. I'm not calling you guys egotistical. Believe me, I am going through my own ego death right now, self-imposed, self-inflicted, and we all have it no matter what our signs are. So I love you, Cancers. Don't be mad at me. All right, circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it a positive or a negative influence? Oh, I love it. It's your card. Okay, so I feel very strongly that this month you're going to be sharing with choice few individuals in your life this realization, this new journey. You're going to be playing your cards pretty close to your chest, because even though you're not supposed to know exactly all the things and the stuff about how it's going to play out, there's still a part of you that is a little bit nervous, but there's also a part of you that once you really surrender and embrace the Fool, you actually kind of like the idea of being able to take the journey, at least the first part of the journey, by yourself. You like the idea that you can keep that secret to yourself, that you don't, it's for you. It's not for everyone else. Everyone else will figure it out, when the time comes. It'll become obvious, especially if this leads to, a job shift, or if it leads to new friends, or if it leads to, you booking tickets to Egypt and, going away for a month, or whatever the case might be. I feel like that'll all come in time. Where your focus is at here in that moon card energy is in allowing yourself to be internal about it, to be intuitive, but also, what's the word I'm looking for? Introverted. That's the word I'm looking for. Introverted. Keeping things close to your chest. So for those of you who are chatty Cathys and you like to, I'm an oversharer, so I totally understand. If you're an oversharer, this is a time to work against that oversharing. This is a time to kind of rein that in, because I feel like the cake hasn't fully baked yet. You're inspired and you're just getting started on the journey. The moon is an 18, which is a 9. So it's endings, resolutions, conclusions. It's the thing that has to happen before, you can really open up into a new journey, before everything is exposed and you're able to, make very clear choices on where you're going and growing. So I feel like the moon card is here just for you. I also want to point out that not every one of these cards has dragonflies, but we have dragonflies in the last 3 cards. So we have dragonflies here in the 10 of Swords. For the adaptability, you've got dragonflies here in the Fool, and now you've got some dragonflies here in the Moon. So it really is about learning a new way of adaptability for yourself, and you're doing it for you. Others will find out when they're supposed to, when it's required, but in the meantime, this journey is for you. Interesting. Okay, so now we are at our hopes and fears about this change. What are you dreaming of becoming? And what scares you about actually doing it? Oh, interesting. Another pentacle. Okay. Worried that it might require a little too much work and effort, too much attention to detail. You're worried that you might get bored. You're worried that you might, dive into the Fool, dive into the adventure here, whole hog, and get, a third of the way through or 2/3 of the way through, and then realize, yeah, I'm done. This sucks. Stick a fork in me. I don't want to do it. Or it's not all it was cracked up to be. What I'm feeling here is this is the card of mastery. And so mastery comes in all forms. And we, in the human realm, because we've been taught to think very linearly, whatever, we get it in our heads that, if there are 5 levels to a course, I kind of need to get to through all levels and get to level 5 in order for me to count myself a success. And that's not always the case. From the spiritual perspective, you going on this journey, you might only be meant to get up to level 2 or level 3. And that's the journey that the soul wanted to have. That's the experience that you needed and the wisdom that you gained that's going to open another door. And then you're going to be able to apply that in a different way. But if you hold out thinking, oh, I've failed, or I'm not pushing myself enough, or why do I not want to go to the end of this? It's because you're thinking linearly. But I feel like energetically, like we all live a very sporadic life energetically. That's why we go around the mountains 75 different times. We explore an experience or an issue from a number of different angles in order to be able to learn all that we can from it and to process it. It's not always a one and done. Humanity, from a humanity's perspective, we've been taught to think that it should be a one and done. And, when we're dealing with pain and loss and growth and grief, it'd be nice to just be one and done, right? But that's not how it is, and that's not the way it works. So I feel like for you, the hopes and fears, you want to be putting your focus to understanding that this next journey is part of your path of mastery. And you don't need to know how it looks. And you certainly don't need to tell yourself, I'm giving myself 3 years. I'm going to get through this whole thing, or 3 months. I'm going to do the whole thing. Don't get too caught up in the future. Really just focus on what's right in front of me. I can pay attention to the details in little hunks and chunks. And I understand that this is this is a chapter on my path to mastery. And maybe I will go all 5 levels. Maybe I'll just do 1 level. Maybe I won't even get through the whole course. But I understand the whole first level course. But I understand that this is happening for a reason. This is happening because it's part of that fool's journey. And maybe that's partially also why you're keeping some of this to yourself, because you're figuring out where this all fits into your life path and purpose. So you might not share it with everybody until you kind of understand what purpose this is serving for you in your life. Oh, I love that, Cancers. Okay, so this is your outcome. If you choose to stay on course in November, who will you be on the other side of this journey? What is the result of embracing the full birth and death and rebirth cycle? Oh my God, I love it. So, happiness and joy. This is a legacy card. This is a card that says, I've arrived. And I find it really interesting because you've had a lot of pentacles. You know, we have this, the Six of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles came up, the Eight of Pentacles. Oh, did you have another? I think that was it. But you've had a lot of pentacles, right? And I feel like it's the pentacles that maybe have been kind of like holding me back a little bit. But I'm also feeling like they're coming through now in the second half of the reading, and obviously here in the outcome to say, you've shifted your perspective on that, and it's no longer keeping you stuck or rooted. Now you're moving forward with them. You're moving along that path, and you're not afraid to bring into being this new path and this new journey. And this definitely feels like after you go through all of this stuff, you're like, there's the vision. That's what I'm heading to. That's why I'm doing this thing. And now I'm really excited because now I understand that this is connected to the legacy that I am leaving. I'm just going to point out, we have a little dragonfly. There's only one, but he's there. So again, this is that flexible, adaptable aspect of yourself. And you're learning that because you've kept yourself sort of, locked up or frozen or just kind of, swimming in a smaller pond. And now you're like the dragonfly, you can live on land as well as living in the water, and you can experience the world in that way. And so I feel like this is, coming into, and tens, new beginnings based on an already established foundation. So you're moving into something new and something different. I really like this for you. I feel like this is more like confirmation or validation of everything that has sort of come through for you. Loving that for you guys. I don't need to move that. Sorry. Loving that for you guys, Cancer. All right, so that is your transformational tarot for November. As always, if you need any kind of support, guidance, help, love, whatever you need, click on the link below. You know how to reach me, book a session. I'm here to help. Otherwise, until we meet each other again for another segment of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, sending you lots of love and support. We will see you on the flip side, and transform well.